Okay, continuing example number 3. We already found J prime, K prime, L prime, and M prime and plotted and labeled the figure. Now we need to verify that the pre-image and the image are congruent. Let's look at the sides. The length of JK is 5 units, KL 2 units, LM 5 units, JM 2 units. J prime, K prime is 5 units, K prime, L prime 2 units, L prime, M prime 5 units, J prime, M prime 2 units. So again, we need to prove that all corresponding parts are congruent in order to verify that the two figures are congruent. Both figures make rectangles. They each meet the grid lines. All the sides follow the grid lines, so each angle meets at a 90-degree angle. So I kind of cheated and got a little bit of a head start on our verification. So you could pause the video in a moment and get this stuff written down. But for now, I started with, because every single angle was 90 degrees, instead of breaking it down and writing it 4 different times, I wrote that every single angle. So the measure of angle J equals the measure of angle J prime, which equals the measure of angle K, which equals the measure of angle K prime, which equals the measure of angle L, which equals the measure of angle L prime, which equals the measure of angle M, which equals the measure of M prime, which all equal 90 degrees. Because all of the angles are 90 degrees, I can now state that angle J is congruent. Oh, sorry, I forgot the word therefore. Because they all equal to 90 degrees, therefore, angle J is congruent to angle J prime, which is congruent to angle K, which is congruent to angle K prime, which is congruent to angle L, which is congruent to angle L prime, which is congruent to angle M, which is congruent to angle M prime. So we stated that all the angle measurements are equal, and because all of the angle measurements equal 90 degrees, all of the angles are congruent. So we just stated that all corresponding angles are congruent. So now we're going to go to the side lengths. And again, I cheated and got a head start. So if you want to, you can pause the video and get everything written down that I have written down. Okay, so side JK, the length of JK equals the length of J prime, K prime, which equals 5 units. Therefore, JK is congruent to J prime, K prime. The length of KL equals the length of K prime, L prime, which equals 2 units. Therefore, KL, sorry, I'm going to make that L look a little bit better, is congruent to K prime, L prime. LM, the length of LM equals the length of L prime, M prime, which equals 5 units. Therefore, LM is congruent to L prime, M prime. And then last, the length of JM equals the length of J prime, M prime, which equals 2 units. Therefore, JM is congruent to J prime, M prime. What we did there was we proved that all corresponding angles were congruent and all corresponding sides were congruent. Because we proved that all corresponding parts were congruent, I can now state that all corresponding parts are congruent. Therefore, rectangle J, K, L, M is congruent to rectangle J prime, K prime, L prime, M prime. And that is all for example 3. The most important thing I hope that you get out of example 3, though, is the actual reflection part. Because it reflected over the x-axis, your x-coordinates all stay the same. See how these were all the same? And then we took the opposite of the y-coordinates. These were all negative. These became positive because we took the opposite of each. That is example 3. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.